morning, everyone. Today, I'm honored to introduce our project on the construction of Southwestern Hong Kong Island Eye to you. And we are from聖言Secondary School, and our code is 75592. During recent months, MTR is proposing to extend the railway to the southwestern part of Hong Kong Island. Inspired by this news, we decided to explore the problem and try to establish an equation so as to judge whether a certain station at those districts is worth being built or not. To formulate the equation, we have to consider several important factors. For example, the population around the districts, the economic benefits, such as the money raised from selling fares, it is around 33.3%, and D is the frequency of the taking MTR of a passenger in a year. It equals 624 because we assume that each passenger travels 2 times a day and 5 times a week for work or study, and 1 day a week for leisure purpose. For leisure purpose, as there's 52 weeks in a year, so altogether it should be 624. P is the average fare per trip, and according to the MTR, it's around $7.06. PT is the population aged between 15 and 64. It has 2 components, P1T and P2T. It's where P1T represents the labor population and P2T represents the school population. As you can see right here, PI pi represents the initial population, and RI represents the growth rate, and T is the time count in year. And after taking the limit, we can find out that PIT is the product of PI pi and e to the power RIT. To find out the average population, we have to take an integration. And so this equation represents the average population in the cave year. Similarly, for the operation cost, it should be the product of all these factors, where C represents the average operation cost per trip per head, and it is around $3.7 according to the MTR. For a total profit of a station, it should be the summation of the annual profit. And furthermore, we assume that the construction of a station takes 5 years, and each station can serve for 30 years. Let's talk about the criteria of building a station. The total profit. For some station which has a profit more than 60% of the construction cost, which is around 0.85 billion, it is worth being built. It is because MTR has already stated that unless the government provides a loan of half its construction cost, it may suffer a loss. So it is natural for us to set a goal of suffering less loss. Say, for example, 40% of the construction cost. For some stations which cannot cover the construction cost alone, but they are close together, we suggest combining these stations to form one big station. It is because some stations are worth being built, but they will cause a loss if the MTRC build them separately. And for some stations which are not close together and will cause a loss, we suggest not building them. Just take HLMA as an example. The labor force in 1996 is around 8,200, and that in 2001 is around 9,700. So according to the process shown here, the growth rate of the labor force from 1996 to 2001 is around 0.03265. And similarly, we can find out the growth rate of the school population, and this is around negative 0.1646, and its profit is found to be 0.423 billion. So obviously, this station should not be built alone. But for some stations like Hanhao, its profit is more than 0.85 billion, so it should be built. And for other stations like Choi Lam, Po Lam, King Lam, the individual profit is less than 0.85 billion, but they are close together, and the total profit is more than 0.85 billion. So they should be combined into one station. Comparing result with the real situation, both Han Hao and Po Lam were built, and they contribute to a total of 150 passengers in a day. So you can see that our equation is quite acceptable and reliable. For some stations along the southwestern Hong Kong Island line, the results are somewhat in this table, but we decide to present it in a chart forms. For example, some stations like Sek Tong Choi and Sai Ying Pun, Cyberport, Tin Wang, Wong Chuk Hang, Ap Lei Chou Lo, South Horizons, their profit is obviously more than our requirement, so they should be built. But for some stations like Ap Lei Chou Estate, Lei Tong, they should be combined into one station. Although Wah Kwai and Wah Fu has already satisfied our requirement, we suggest combining them with Chi Fu to form Wah Fu Station, so as to save money as they are close together. But for some stations like Aberdeen, Ocean Park, Kennedy Town, and Port Fu Lam, they should not be built. And you can see right here from this figure, the black line represents our suggestions, while the red one is suggested by MTR in 2002. But according to the latest proposal, there are 3 options, where option A is quite similar to our suggestions. So you can see that our equation is quite reliable. In this section, we would like to make the following suggestions for further improvement. For example, we have to consider the competitions with other means of public transport, such as buses and minibuses, as they will seriously affect the profit. And besides, we have to consider environmental impact. In case a station can cause serious damage to the environment, it should not be built, even it may make a lot of profit. For the salaries of the besides, we have to consider the salaries of the residents, the construction cost and its difficulty, and the government grant, the interest of bank loan. After such changes in our equation, we hope that our result could be more accurate and sensible. After participating in this project, we have learned many new mathematical skills and their application. For example, the exponential function, definite integral, and the electro logarithm. Besides, we have also gained a lot of invaluable experience. For example, the problem-solving skills, the data collection and analysis, time management, team spirit, and besides, each of us learn to take our own responsibility. And thanks to this organization, we can find out all the data we want, most of the data we want, and we can finish our project. And that's all my presentation. Thanks for listening.